hit record. All right, sounds good. And I'm going to share my screen. And welcome to the C2C Relay Run Logistics meeting. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited to have representatives from our amazing teams that are going to be here with us coming up so soon for our events. We have 14 teams that are going to be on the road with us this year. So we're just absolutely thrilled to be able to be back in person and to be doing what we love for a cause that we care about. And so wanted to thank you all so much for your time and dedication. Just wanted to go over a quick agenda for the day, for the evening, I'm sorry. We're gonna have a quick welcome from John Hikes, our event lead, in just a moment. We have a mission moment to share with you. And we'll go over, of course, logistics, which is the crux of our meeting here today, to go over specifics about the 2021 event and answer any questions you might have, start and finish lines, fundraising, things of that nature, and then, of course, time for questions. So I don't want to put any of you on the spot given a virtual setting. So please feel free to put in the chat an introduction if you'd like to tell the group your name, your team, and how long you've been a part of C2C. And someone who is going to come off mute and share and just say hello to everyone is John Hikes. So I will send it over to you, John.
Thank you, Kristen. Hi, everybody. For those of you that don't know me, my name is John Hikes, and I am the event chair for this year's C2C Relay Run. Was also the chair for last year's interesting version of our run. Things, as everybody knows, got a little different, and we are very excited to be back in person with all of you in 2 weeks or 10 days, whatever it may be now. It's something that we've really been planning for 2 years. It feels like it's just been one consistent kind of string of things and trying to make this the best event that we can. We know that every year we have people come and go. We really want to do our best to make this an event that you want to come back to every year. And we're hoping that some of these changes, some of the things that we're doing a little different this year will kind of inspire you to kind of come back and continue to support the ACS mission next year as part of next year's run. So thank you again for everything. Thank you for bearing with us through last year when everything kind of went topsy-turvy. Thank you for bearing with us this year as we've kind of sorted everything out and made the decision to switch the course and to run from Cincinnati to Columbus this year. And just thank you for sticking with us this whole time. We really appreciate it. We're really looking forward to seeing you all out there next week. And just thank you again. If you have any questions, ask Kristen, because I do not have any answers. But other than that, again, thank you. And I can't wait to see all y'all next week.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right, so wanted to have a quick mission moment for everyone. One of the major things is we're going out and talking about what the ACS does out in the community and the impact that they make. People want to know tangibles about what kind of difference are we making in the community, what kind of reach does the American Cancer Society have. And so I wanted to share this new tool that was just released, our Impact 2020. So in the unique times of COVID-19 and navigating the pandemic, the ways that we were still out there working to improve the lives of cancer patients and their families. This is in the forms and documents section of the website, and I'll also put it as an attachment when I send out the PowerPoint and tonight's information. But it's just a wonderful tool as you're leading up to the event and sharing why you're doing what you're doing and why you're raising the funds for the organization that you have chosen so generously to support. The research that's being done, the education, the advocacy, and the services, the helpline that we was just absolutely, as you can imagine, inundated with questions about how to navigate a cancer diagnosis and a pandemic and all of that, the murkiness of 2020, trying to make sure that we were there in whatever ways we could be through virtual support groups and online resources. So just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that this was released, that has some statistics there about the impact in 2020, and I'm happy to share that on a wider basis after this meeting, but just wanted to draw your attention to that. And we will dive right into logistics and start talking about the 2021 event. Some things are familiar. I believe all of our teams that are here have done the event in prior years. So that's amazing. Welcome back. We're so happy to have you. Some, it's been a while for all of us, of course. Last year was virtual, so we're back. But wanted to make sure to hit some of the high points for the event as a whole, and also the specific changes for 2021 specifically. So we will go in. The participant guidebook had already been sent out and is on the website, but it has a packing list. But just wanted to draw your attention to that, because that is one of the frequently asked questions about what should you bring on this Odyssey quest that you're going to be doing, where you're running so many miles overnight and jumping in and out of a car to be able to navigate and be comfortable and be prepared for your ride. So later on, we will go over the specific safety elements that you are asked to please have, but just miscellaneous in general. I just wanted to draw your attention to the what to pack list. I won't go over all of the items, but just to highlight a couple things that I've heard from runners in the past, putting changes of clothes in big Ziploc bags so you can zip up your dirty clothes after the fact. That has been a huge suggestion from runners. Making sure that you have chargers for your phone, extra, little flashlights if you would like to have one with batteries. So just wanted to go over the unique things that you might not be packing for a run under normal circumstances, just to make sure that you are able to check that out in the guidebook. And I'll go over right now then the team bins at the kickoff, and I'll let you know where and when that is for next week. We will be giving you, as I mentioned, the hard copies of the route cards so that runners can tear that off if they want a hard copy of the route. The event guidebook that has the driving directions and the layouts of the start and finish line, as well as the signs for your car. So, and we'll go over those safety items in just a bit. But so if you see those items on the packing list, we are providing some of those items for you, and that will be next Monday. The route has been finalized and was released and emailed out to everyone today. We thank Runiversity for being back with us again this year. They are going to be out there marking the course for us. They helped us update our runner leg chart. So this is the final runner leg chart. Very few changes from the one that was released after our update, just a couple tweaks here and there, but just wanted you to see the official leg chart and leg selection options there. And we'll be giving that out to everyone as well. And they are also going to be creating the route cards that you'll be able to have. So big thank you to Runiversity for their help flipping this route, making sure that we don't mix up any of our directions and send anyone in the wrong direction. We'll have everyone have fresh route cards for a Cincinnati to Columbus event. All right, and so preparation, team spirit. So one of the most unique elements of this is just how much of a team event and celebration that this turns out to be. So you are with your teammates largely during the entire course of the event. You will see some other teams at checkpoints and at the finish line, for example, but the majority of the event is with your four people in your car or your 8 as a team. And we really want you to have so much fun with this. It's such a fun event, cool atmosphere. It's wonderful to see the team spirit that people have when they're out there. You can have team shirts, and these are all optional, but team shirts, if you want to have matching shirts, you can decorate your car. If you have a special way you want to recognize the survivors that are on your team, please do so. We have asked that everyone have a team song so we can make sure that you are sent off and brought into the finish line with a song that means something to your group. So just want to make sure that you guys know there are lots of opportunities out there to have team spirit, have fun together. And if you have any unique ideas that you want to share in the chat, please do so. It's always fun to see everyone's directions. Sometimes people have, themed decorations and outfits, luau, superheroes, whatever it might be. We are excited to see what your team spirit is and how you guys are coming together in this reunion year that we're having. And so we're going to start right with the start line. We are changing it up this year, of course, going the opposite direction than we have in years past. We are going to be starting at Smalley Riverfront Park in Cincinnati. It is down slightly further than Yeatman's Cove, which was our finish line in 2019. But we have the maps set up here and will be sent out in the guidebook to show you exactly where in the park our start line is going to be. You'll see the arch set up and we'll be playing music. There is a parking garage across the way, and you can see we have it highlighted there, called the Mid-Central Riverfront Garage. We are unable to do prepaid parking for that, but if you keep your receipts, we are absolutely able to reimburse for parking for any of your team parking needs at that time. You can turn in your receipt at the finish line, or you can scan and send that in to myself or to C2C Relay Run at cancer.org, and we're happy to reimburse you for the start line parking. And we do have the finish line parking totally covered, and we'll go over that in a moment. Team check-in, we do ask that you arrive 45 minutes before your start time. We want to be able to do the safety check, make sure that you have all of the safety items that you need. We'll be checking your car. We'll also be taking a team photo, and to make sure that you guys have time to sign a ribbon if you want to wear something that says who you are running in honor of or in memory of. We want to make sure that you can get together, speak as a team, have some time together before you kick off this journey. And then we will have the send-off, as I mentioned, with your team song. And you are able to start as a team, of course, and then when the park takes you up to the entrance of Yeatman's Cove, that is where we're suggesting that then your teammates can step aside, go out to the garage, and then hit the road there, and then the runner will continue on the first leg. So we will, of course, you'll have maps that show that, but just wanted to let you know where the plan was for the start of that. And our amazing co-founder Jen Newman was hard at work with your team pacing and getting everyone set up and ready to go. So we do have that listed there. It is in order of start time on Saturday. So I won't go through all of the team names, but you can see there starting at 9:30 a.m. Until 2 p.m. Those are going to be our staggered start times down in Cincinnati. We will be sending out this, of course, with the email so that every team member knows when to come down. It was a question that was asked previously: if the second car does not or cannot come all the way down to the start line, is that okay? Where would they go? They would want to meet us at checkpoint 4, the major exchange point, which is in Loveland, and we would do the car check and the safety check with them at that time. So totally fine if your second group is going to go to the first major checkpoint first. Just wanted to make sure that in both instances that you touch base with staff or volunteers who are there, just so we can collect the safety agreement forms and to make sure that we go over everything with you and inform you of any changes. We, of course, have been hard at work on the route, but as we know, something could come up the day before when they're setting the signs, and we want to make sure to communicate any changes with you guys personally. Before we get deeper into exchange point, does anyone have any questions about the start line in particular? Okay. All right, wonderful. And again, we will have time for question at the end as well if you think of anything between now and then. But it is my honor to introduce Jen Newman, one of the co-founders of this amazing event, and she is going to go over more of the runner and exchange point logistics. Jen?
Great, thanks Kristen, and thank you so much to all of you. I know we are so excited to be able to be back out on the course with everybody this year. And so since you're all returning, I know this is a bit of a refresher, but I know that many of you do have new runners on your teams as well. So just please make sure that your team has the information so that everybody feels comfortable with the format. But most teams usually elect to use 2 cars as they're traveling through the course. And so in doing that, runners 1 through 4 would be in vehicle number 1, and then runners 5 through 8 would be in the second car. So at the starting point, if you're all there, the first runner will go off, and then you'll get in your cars. And so the car 1, with runners 1 through 4, will begin with that first runner running leg 1. And then as they run, you will drive to checkpoint 1 and wait there for your runner to arrive. Once your runner arrives at the checkpoint, then runner 2 will take off, and this will continue until you reach checkpoint 4. When you get to checkpoint 4, that's our first major exchange point, and that's where you'll trade off cars. So the second car will be there waiting for you at that checkpoint, and you'll repeat the process down the course with runners 5 through 8. And so typically, your car will only be on the route when your runners are running. If you're in the car that has the next group of legs, we do ask that you proceed to that major exchange point, because that's where we have the capacity for parking to be able to host everybody while they wait. And you will see that as we go down further along the course, a lot of you are pacing really close together. So there's many checkpoints in the second half where we'll only have an hour or so at the checkpoint for everybody. So it's just important to be there and be waiting for your runners to come. All of the checkpoints will be marked, and all will have restroom access. And just as before, every 4th checkpoint is one of our major exchanges where we will be staffed with volunteers to be able to check you in, provide you with hydration and nutrition. And we ask that if your runners aren't running again, just to please wait for your legs at one of these major exchange points. We've also partnered with the YMCA and Washington Courthouse. It will be open for your use from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. It's just a great place to step into some air conditioning, take a shower, and try to get a little bit of rest. So again, the gym will be open for you to be able to take a nap. We just ask that you please bring your own towels, toiletries, and anything that you may want to lay on. I know a lot of teams will bring yoga mats to put on the floor in the gym. Okay. On here, you can see an example of our route markings. We will be using a combination of ground stickers and signs. One of the biggest points with that, though, is in Grove City, we are not allowed to have any signage. So there is about 6 to 7 miles throughout Grove City that will be marked exclusively with ground stickers. So we just ask that the runners running those legs be sure to have their route cards with them. In addition to that, we're going to be providing additional stickers just to make sure that you're comfortable with the directions that you're going. The guidebook, as Kristen referenced, will be providing driving directions, and the route cards will be provided for each leg for your runner to take with them. And we do ask that your runner has those route cards because sometimes the directions on the route cards do differ from GPS directions if they're using a GPS to get there. So please use the route cards to make sure that we stay on our routes from a safety perspective, and so that you have appropriate signage and markings guiding you along the way. Throughout the day, the runners will be running on their own against traffic. And then at night, the runners will be running with traffic with your car trailing the runner. Here you can see our required safety gear. Again, this will be in the guidebook for you to be able to prepare as you pack. But we do ask that each team is responsible for a light for each car and for a vest and a headlamp for each participant. We will be providing the safety agreement forms, the vehicle signs, and the medical ID bracelets. But please, again, please make sure that you order a light for each car and a vest and a headlamp for each participant. And when you do check in, we will go through the safety check to make sure that you have what is needed. If you don't have everything, we will require you to pick it up before you meet us at that first main exchange point. Okay. As we know from the past, anything can go with the weather. So one of the ways that we will keep you informed is through our weather alerts. You will see these flags for the weather at each major exchange point. And then if there is inclement weather, you will receive an alert from Race Joy and a text from our text messaging service. If you are in dangerous conditions, we ask that you please go back and pick up your runner if you're not already trailing them, and then seek shelter. And just keep in mind that the weather could be different at different locations on the course. So just make sure that you're checking in with where you're at the time. Okay. Here are text numbers for you to use if you have a question, if you notice that a route sign has been taken, or if you need any help along the way. The C2C emergency number will also be coming to Kristen and I, but additionally, we've provided both of our cell phones if you want to reach us directly. We just ask if there is a medical emergency to please call 911 first, and then alert us so that we all can take the appropriate actions.
Thank you so much, Ben. So I wanted to introduce my supervisor, Chris Bowles, who's going to talk a little bit about, of course, this year looks different because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And he's going to speak a little bit about ACS's parameters for events at this time. And Chris, take it away.
Everybody, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Just making sure. So I know I've had the pleasure of meeting some of you over the last year plus through some of the different Zoom calls, but I'm looking forward to seeing many of you in person next week in Cincinnati and in Columbus. So as you all know, COVID-19 has created an ever-changing situation with recommendations and guidelines and such like that. So with the event taking place next week, we are going off of C2C guidelines. We are recommending that, for participants that, you do not have to wear your mask while running. And we want you to always know that your safety and well-being is our top priority. But, we do recommend following the CDC guidelines in terms of mask wearing. If you are in cars with others, please recommend, checking with your other teammates. Make sure that you have conversations with them about their comfort level. We do recommend people being vaccinated for it. It's not a requirement to participate in this event, but we do recommend that in situations where you are indoors or you are in very close proximity to others for your own safety, that we recommend that you do wear a mask. And keep in mind that everybody for this event is raising money for somebody who has been touched by cancer. And some people may live with somebody who is immunocompromised, or may have a situation where they're living with children who are below the ages for vaccination yet. So keep all of that in mind when you are making your decisions, and we want you to be safe, we want you to be healthy, and we want everybody to have a positive experience in this event. And so those are the precautions that were taking place. We have been in touch with the YMCA. Anytime that we are going indoors to a facility, whether it's the YMCA or if it's land grant at the finish, we are going to abide by the policies of those businesses. And so I live in Chicago. I'm not familiar with how all of the businesses are operating between Cincinnati and Columbus, but it's probably good to make sure that you have a mask with you in case you happen to stop off somewhere to either get food, get gas, or get something. And who knows that if that business may be requiring a mask. So we just want to make sure everybody is prepared so that everybody can be healthy and happy and have a wonderful experience that we've been very much looking forward to doing in person. So Kristen, did I cover everything?
Yes, that was great. Thank you. And as Chris mentioned, we are a unique event where we are here to fight cancer. And because of that, a lot of us have been touched by cancer in some way. Some are survivors, some are in active treatment, some are caregivers. So we just want to make sure that we keep the safety of all participants and volunteers. That is our absolute #1 priority, especially, our survivors and caregivers. That's what we're doing this for. So just wanted to go over a few things that we're doing on our end to try to make it as safe as possible for everyone. Chris mentioned about masks. You're welcome to bring your own. We'll also have some available if you happen to forget or need an extra one. So we'll have it at the start line, finish line, and any of the major exchange points. Please see a volunteer or staff member if you need one. We will have masks, hand sanitizer, Lysol wipes, all of those things to try to make sure that we are keeping safe. Along that mindset, we also added actual hand washing stations at all of the major exchange points with our PortaClean order. So in addition to the hand sanitizer that comes with any of the portable restrooms, there will be hand washing stations with running water and soap that you can utilize at the major exchange points that have food. So I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that addition this year. We also are going to have a comfort level wristband system. And, as Chris mentioned, there's lots of different reasons why people may need to be more cautious than others. And so we are going to have paper wristbands available to you in the team bins that will go out at kickoff, at start lines, and at any of the major exchange points and at the finish line that are green, yellow, and red. And we are just asking for participants to wear one to indicate to others in a nonverbal way what your comfort level is. If you are wearing a green wristband, you are comfortable with no social distancing, handshakes are fine, things of that nature. If it is yellow, you're being cautious and please ask before approaching someone too closely. And if you're wearing a red wristband, that you would like to have 6 feet of separation, please, for whatever your reason might be. And so then you will know as you're going up to interact with anyone, especially, at the finish line, as we get to talk to people who we haven't seen in a long time, who we need to just maintain the 6 feet of difference just for everyone's comfort level for where they are on this journey. So we will have those wristbands available. And again, we'll have replacements because I know that, the paper ones, if you're showering or running, we have plenty. So see us at any of the stops if you need one there. And I do also want to mention that traditionally it has been a requirement that each team only have 2 vehicles. That has been lifted for this year. If you want to have more social distance within your teams, to have more vehicles on the course, please reach out to us and we will accommodate that. We want to make sure that everyone is having a safe experience and that they feel as safe as possible. And the team bins, we're going to be having a kickoff for that. I did want to say in advance, if you do not feel comfortable, we'll be set up outside, but if you do not feel comfortable coming out to a public place like that, I am happy to do a porch drop off of your team bin as well. So just wanted to mention some of the ways that we are trying to make everyone feel safe and comfortable as we navigate this ever-changing time. And thank you guys so much for your understanding as we are extra cautious, just trying to protect all of our cancer survivors and caregivers and all of our participants, volunteers, and team. And that takes us to the finish line. So we are going to be at Land Grant Brewing Company this year. We are so excited that they are hosting us at the finish line in Columbus. I do have a map here. We have rented out a lot near the finish line called McDowell Lot. It's indicated on the map there, and this map, of course, is in the guidebook as well. But we have paid to rent it for our event. We have the capacity for 90 spots there. So we are good to use it for all of our event participant vehicles, our volunteers who might be coming in, your family and friends who are coming. There's no permits required. So just wanted you to know the location of that, and you can see, it's just about a block away from Land Grant, but wanted to make sure that everyone had ample parking and could easily get to the finish line. The finish line festivities they're going to open the tap room early for us at 10:30 a.m. And you are welcome to stay as long as you would like. Have friends and family come. The official end time for our purposes, where the arch will be packed up and things of that nature, is 2 p.m. But they are at that point, they're going to have live music come into the brewery, and they will be lots to do still there. So please feel free to stay and celebrate as long as you would like. We are going to be having a meal there for individuals, all of the participants, and if your family and friends are coming, we're happy to provide food for them. I am going to automatically, all of our active participants, you will be down for a meal. You will have that ready for you at the finish line. If you do plan on having guests that would like to eat, you could please RSVP just the a number, and if there's any dietary restrictions, to C2C Relay Run at cancer.org by August 18th. So I can get that information to the food provider. That would be fantastic. Just want to make sure that you know that we will be having that there available for you, and we still want it to be a really amazing experience, even as our finish line looks a little different this year. And the team meetup location will look very familiar to many of you. It is actually going to be at Rich and Town Street, near where we traditionally park. So on a normal year for our start line, we have Washington Boulevard blocked off for people to park. So right in that area is where we're recommending teams to meet up, and then you can run with your final runner into the finish line and have that team finish and celebration. We are, one of our sponsors, the James, has donated pom-poms. So we will have pom-poms there for family and friends if you would like to have them come and cheer you in, other teammates. We encourage other teams to cheer. We just want to make sure that you have a tremendously amazing experience to celebrate this feat that you have accomplished. Are there any questions at this time about the finish line in particular? All right, great. I am going to briefly just send it over to Jen to explain Race Joy. The detailed instructions will be sent out to everyone in the guidebook, but just to mention a few words on this tracking tool.
Sure. No, thanks, Kristen. And we're just going to highlight a couple of things that I know for full disclosure, I know that sometimes Race Joy can be a hassle. It's not always 100% accurate, but it's the best way that we have to know where you are at all times and that you are safely on the course. And it's a fun way for friends and family to also be able to track you and know your estimated time at the finish. Prior to the event, if each of you could please download the app and load in your team. It usually works best if just one person set up the team so that it's not duplicated, and then have each participant go in and add themselves to the team. I think the biggest thing with this, and you'll go through and we'll have specific instructions for it, but to make sure that before the event starts, to turn on the phone tracking for it, which you will see is the green icon there. And then most importantly, not to let it run the whole time. So we're really trying to see where your runners are on the course when they're running their legs. So if you can just double check that when your runner begins, to have them start their leg, and when they finish, to please have them end their leg. And then that way, we'll be able to know where you are, and you'll be able to have an estimate as far as when your runners are coming into their checkpoints. And just a couple of reminders here is that do bring your chargers, because this does tend to pull down your battery. And just please make sure that the morning of the event, you set your location trackers to on. You allow for notifications and refreshes.
Hey, Jen.
Yes.
Question is there a way to reset, or, we've had times in the past, and I'm guilty, where we started it, forgot to stop it, went ahead and looked at our route ahead, hit the start button. Is there a way to kind of reset it so that if we accidentally went ahead,
that's a good question, Jason. I will find out and we will let all of you know. I know previously, sometimes if you actually end the leg and start the leg again, it will sometimes refresh from where you are located, but we will get an answer specifically for you.
Hey, Jen, this is Tiffany. I have a question too. If my runner doesn't carry a phone when they're on the course, can I start their phone or start the Race Joy app from the vehicle while they're running if we're following them?
So that would work if you're following them. However, you're going to only be following them through the nighttime hours. So during the daytime hours, they will be on the course on their own. If there is any way, I think we would highly encourage every runner to have a phone with them on course. Just if something happens, there's no other way for us to know where they are.
All right, thank you guys so much. The final part of our agenda for today is to talk about our fundraising, and that we are in the final countdown to raise the vital funds to fight cancer, and the reason that we're all here and doing this amazing event. I am thrilled to say that as of just a few moments ago, we have officially crossed the $60,000 threshold. So congratulations to everyone on that. I know you guys have been working so incredibly hard. We have set our goal at 100,000. So we are more than halfway there, and I really, really believe that we can do it. So just want to make sure that you guys feel supported. There is the fundraising guidebook that is on the website with tips and tricks, email samples that you can send out, how to set up your Facebook fundraiser through your C2C Relay Run dashboard to make sure it's connected there. I wanted to go over we have the fundraising incentives. Just as a reminder to anyone who participated in our 2020 virtual event, all of the funds that you raised in 2020 will apply toward your incentive items. Those will not be on your fundraising dashboard for 2021, but we will pull a report and add it to whatever your final total is to see what level you have hit for your fundraising incentives. So whether you're hoping to get a pair of running gloves, a running jacket, a go hat, or a free team entry for next year's event, there's lots of cool markers to be striving for. And if you have any questions at all about where you landed in 2020, please reach out to me. I'm happy to give you that information. And as team captains as well, it was asked if we could share with the team captains where their teammates landed with fundraising so that they can encourage them. And yes, we absolutely can do that as well. So just let us know whatever information you might need so that you feel that you are supported and have the tools to be continuing on your fundraising journey. We do have luminarias that are available, $10 donation per bag. On the website, on the front page, by the donate button, there's a button that says dedicate a tribute. That is how you can order a luminaria through the website online. That is through August 18th. At that point in time, it will be disabled on the website so that we can pull all reports and make sure that we have the bags made for the event. But we will have the physical bags there at the start line as well if anyone wants to dedicate in memory or in honor of a luminaria bag that we will have set up at the halfway point at exchange point 12. We'll have those there available for you. And just wanted to Andrea is, of course, on maternity leave right now, but she would be absolutely encouraging everyone to utilize social media as much as possible to get the word out there about your team, about the mission, about what you're doing. And that's one of the best ways to really to get donations and from people who are supporting you and who are passionate about the cause that you might not have ever known before. So the social media post examples of things that you can say, ideas that you can do leading up to it, a certain amount for the amount of days that we are away from the event, how many miles you're running that day. Don't forget about the Facebook fundraiser to set it up through your dashboard so it connects directly to your fundraising. People have had great success with that. And then different hashtags. So if you are out there posting photos, please add the hashtag so we can share from our event page and just collectively as a group, see what everyone's doing, how you're training, how you're getting ready, and to see that team spirit. And the kickoff packet pickup. So we are going to have an in-person packet pickup on Monday, August 16th. I will be set up at Noctera Brewing Company outside at that location from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And we will have the team bins to give you. We are hoping upon hope that the t-shirts will arrive in time to give you them that night, in addition to the guidebooks, route cards, the signs for your car. I will have luminaria order forms if you want to order them there, absolutely. And I'll be there for any questions that you might have. We will be providing light appetizers for everyone who's able to come. Drinks are on your own, but we want to make sure that we had a space where you guys can come and see each other. It'll be, outdoors, of course, and we can be spaced out, but just wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity for teams. If you want to have, a team meeting, please use that opportunity to do so in the space that we have reserved outside. And then of course we'll be there, as I mentioned, to answer any questions. I am happy to, I'm sorry? Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't hear if that was a question, but I'm, if anyone needs, as I mentioned, a porch drop off of a team bin, I'm happy to do that. Or if you need me to stay later than 7, if you know, getting there because of work or anything like that, absolutely can do that. Any of these materials we can have at the start line for you as well. Just wanted to, you know, have the opportunity for everyone to be able to get their information and their materials to their teams in advance, and to be able to see each other if you would like to. And the final thing we want to say before we open it up to questions is just a huge thank you to our sponsors. They help make this event possible every year. Dr. Jeremy Mathis is our traditionally, you know, our start line sponsor in Columbus. He was our finish line Columbus sponsor this year. The James for their continuing support. Land Grant for hosting us this year. And then we have the other sponsors there who have given both monetarily and in-kind donations that you'll see. For example, breakfast sandwiches at one of the major exchange points on behalf of White Castle, just things of that nature. So wanted to make sure we have one of our sponsors, Team CCLAD is on here, of course. Trey and his design team designed the logo that is going on our t-shirts and our pint glasses and our medals this year. So we're so thankful for those in-kind services. So just wanted to give a special thank you to all of our sponsors. And if anyone you know is interested in sponsoring next year's event or getting involved, send them my way. We're absolutely excited to hit the ground running, so to speak, with the next event and making this experience just a magical one as much as possible for everyone who is involved. All right, so I will stop sharing my screen here. Let me check in on the chat and see if there are questions here. Okay, we have lots of the introductions, so I definitely recommend everyone to check out the introductions in there and some of the suggestions, notes about decorating cars, things of that nature. We have, as I mentioned, we will have the ribbons at the start line, and we'll make sure there's some at every exchange point too. If you, I know people, you're changing their outfits and things of that nature. If you want to be running in honor or memory of anyone, we'll have ribbons out there. So yes.
Hey Kristen.
Yes.
Angie saw this, and I did too, and Angie saw it, and we're gonna do it on our car. She saw it, she was driving somewhere and saw a van and had it painted on the window it was for a bachelorette party. It said, "Buy the bride a shot," and had a Venmo address. And so we're gonna do that on our car. We're gonna put something like, you know, send money for your cure, and we're gonna have a Venmo address. And so that hopefully if somebody sees our car in Loveland or in Harrisburg, they might drop $15, $20 to a Venmo account. Last year when we were at the VFW, someone came up and gave us $100 to donate to the cause. So that's just another thought that somebody may want to do.
That is awesome. Thank you for that. Does anyone want to come off of mute and share any other suggestions or plans that they have? I don't want anyone to feel on the spot, but please feel free to share.
Hey, Jen, there's a question in the chat box about defining on racetrack.
Right. I see that, and I've tried to download, and I actually can't get RaceJoy to download for full disclosure, but it should be on there, just a C2C relay run. But again, we will circle back with more specifics on RaceJoy.
Absolutely. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it's not currently showing under the race calendar. When you look under Ohio, it kind of skips from something in Dublin to an event in September. It's not showing on there. I wasn't sure if it was a private event that we needed an invite to or something.
Sounds good. We will double check with Runiversity and make sure that we're getting us all set up with RaceJoy and make sure that everything is, you know, made public and easy to search and find this week as you guys are downloading it in advance. We'll make sure to email that out to everyone. Anyone have any other questions or comments, anything to share? All right, I am going to stop the recording, and then if anyone would feel more comfortable than sharing in that capacity, you absolutely can do so. But want to